belongs to those who learn more skills and combine them in creative ways. Hello everyone. I Divasha Alag, Junior Event Manager of Computer Society of India MIET, welcomes you all in today's session on React JS. Before we get started, there are some general instructions for you all. Everyone, please switch off your camera and mic. Those who get any problem during the session can mention it in the chat box. Our team members are here to resolve it. Queries will be taken at the end of the session, so please maintain the decorum and no nuisance in the chat box. Any slang or inappropriate word in the chat box will lead to the strict actions. In today's session, we will learn about React.js, which is a library of JavaScript. JavaScript is one of the most important language for web developers. It is a way to build user interfaces. If you are looking your career in web development and having interest in building web pages, this session will be very helpful to you all. The topics to be covered in today's webinar are how browser works, JavaScript and working, dynamic websites, React.js and SPA, hooks and working of React, Next.js, Remix.js. And we have a special surprise for you all, and that will be provided to only those participants who will remain with us till the end of the session and fill the feedback form. Now, it's time to introduce you to our speaker of today's session, Mr. Kushagra Chauhan. He is currently in fourth year pursuing BTech. His skills include API development, Node.js, semantic HTML, JSON, jQuery, Amazon S3, SAS, Next.js, Git, and OOP. He did internships in Niti Aayog Official as a web developer, ECPL Global, and in Virtual Cybertrons as a front-end developer. It's an honor to have you here with us, sir. You can start now.
Thank you, first of all, to the CSI Society of Merit. And yeah, so let's start with the session. So, good afternoon, everyone. I hope all of you folks are doing extremely well. Today, we are going to dive deep into the world of web development, especially on the front end side. So, this session is held particularly on React.js. But what make this session is so special is that I will be providing everything that I have learned in my whole web development career. So, last internship only, and how you can use these insights for kickstarting your journey in web development. Okay, so first of all, let me start with a quick Q&A. So how many of you are doing how many of you are like interested in web development or interested in any of technology? Like can you ping that in chat? Okay, and how many all of you are interested in AI and ML stuff? Artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchain, and all the cloud computing stuff and other things. Okay, yeah. And how many are of you doing like simple data structures and algorithms and competitive programming? Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So let me tell you, if you are going to solve a problem in a real-time scenario, you need both of the things: development and the how you are using data structure and algorithm with the development skills. Okay. So in React is actually built very quite complex. The real working of React is complex, and it is based on tree data structure and graph data structure. So I just want to say one thing: if you are working, if you are doing DSA and stuff, you should be quite curious like how these things are made, because libraries are only made by the data structures and algorithm stuff. And for those who are excited in other technologies, for example, like machine learning and
Sorry
blockchains.
to interrupt you, sir. You can share your PPT.
Yeah, I'm sharing that. So if you are interested in those, you should be doing that too. Let me just share my PPT. I will be not taking you like a lot of much time, but um, past few minutes are important because you need to know what you are doing actually. So first of all, as you know, these days our new technologies are emerging and the world of tech is moving at a fast pace. Now my question is web development dead? And it is not. So to be quite frank, what web development is, web provides you a platform to showcase the technologies you have learned. Okay, also in technologies, I will be considering the implementation of DSA and stuff and the design patterns. Okay, so an application and of course, how you leverage the concept of new technologies to enhance your application. So what technologies can you enhance your solutions? First of all, there is cloud. So cloud is just like a server which is running by someone else. So this in this space, you need to know web development quite well. Second is blockchain. In blockchain, the data is distributed in various nodes. In this, you need to know how to retrieve data. That's also a part of web development. AI and ML. The main data source for any AI and ML model will be only from the web. So you need to know how data is processing on the web and the classical stuff like uh, how you are doing business logic on the backend and stuff. Okay. So coming to the next our next topic, that how does a browser works. So as far of now we have known that the web development, how what the web development is all about. But as of now, I think no one knows that how does browser work. A browser works with four stages: parsing, rendering, layout, and painting. So these four stages are quite important and make the basics of the React. Let me explain you. So for example, if you have a HTML document over here like this. So in this HTML document, your whole HTML document is will be parsed into a tree known as DOM. So how this will be going is that first the HTML file will be parsed. Now a tree type data structure is created, which has having HTML head, and in head your certain tags, and after body, and in body your certain tags. Okay. Now what we will be doing is a front-end developer, we will be interacting with this tree only, this DOM only. So it is important for us to know that how do we interact with DOM and how do we use these things over there. Okay, similarly, the CSS is passed into something called CSS object model. These both object models are combined and rendered in the browser window using layout. Now this layout stuff works according to the windowing system of browser. So what windowing system is will be covered later on, and I will be teaching you how you can use this window and the document object both for making an website using JavaScript only. Okay. Now this layout will be painted on the browser window. So those folks who are interested in data structure and algorithm, they can search over here how these things works. These things is actually works that this tree data structure is converted into graph, and then on the browser window it will be starting from here and to here. So this is the matrix which will be acting as a graph. Okay. Now this is the basically more abstract way of how browser works. So what we have learned here, first of all, our HTML goes when parsed into DOM, CSS parsed into CSS object model. Both the HTML and CSS DOM object models are rendered and a layout is created. Now this layout is created This layout will help in painting on the browsers. So this is how the browser works. Actually, the React, what React does is React take these 4 points and React reuses these 4 points for making a reactive, stateful, and a quite performable applications. Okay. Now, as far we know, what is JavaScript? So JavaScript is a scripting language which is used for mainly in front-end development, but also in the back-end development. JavaScript, uh, how JavaScript works. So, can I know how much of you know the JavaScript language? Hello? Okay, so as far as I know, there are quite few students. So let us jump into like basic concept of JavaScript, how you can run it and how you can use it to make web applications. Okay. So first of all, our JS code is converted into something called abstract syntax tree. Now JavaScript is dynamic programming language. Like it doesn't have types. It doesn't have integer. It doesn't have float. You don't need to worry about that. It is an abstract. It created an abstract syntax tree, and after that tree will be interpreted into bytecode. Now that bytecode will be compiled to machine code, and that's how JavaScript code will be running on your browser. But the thing is, JavaScript is actually a transcompiled language. It does both things. It interpret and compile. So first of all, let us see how layout works. So this is a small video in which you will be seeing that how the layout is working. The whole website is designing. After the layout is created in this website, it will be painted with the stuffs that we want to have in the website. So these things are divisions, and after that you will get a whole website. So these things are actually working with these four concept only. Okay. Now coming back to the JavaScript part, let us see how you can use JavaScript. Okay. So first of all, I have told you that how the virtual DOM will be working, how the DOM will be working. Okay. So if I have an HTML file, here is an HTML file, and I'm just getting something like this, and in this is an input, or say let's say div. It will be taking much more time. So these are division, and for this division, we will be saying that it is having a class of show, and for button, this will be having class of increment. Okay. Now this is a simple application in which we are incrementing a value. Okay. So there is some value, for example 0, and it will be incremented by 1 using this button. So how do we accomplish that using JavaScript? So first of all, we need to add JavaScript over here. Our JavaScript file will be here with the src, which gives the path of the JavaScript file. So now script.js is not created in this file. We'll be creating that. Okay, now it is created in this file. First of all, in JavaScript, what you will do, like in C++ and other thing, you will be saying int n is equal to and some data. JavaScript says you don't need to remember those int and float. You just need to say variable and what you want to do with it. For example, variable x is equal to any string. Okay, so this will be variable x, and you can easily print it using console.log x. Okay, so earlier we have talked about how document object model works. So now we are going to leverage this thing. What we will be doing, we will be selecting our show division. So how can we do it? We'll be using document. This document object model is same as the DOM over there that is parsed using HTML. And in here, there is something called query selector, which will select only the, in this you need to pass the selector like CSS selector. For example, you need to pass the class here, the dot show. Okay, so this is the class, and now this division is selected. Now we need to, what we need to do, we need to select the button also. So I'm selecting the button, document.query selector, and the button class is increment. Okay, now what we need to do, in my opinion, you should be writing comments over here. Like what do you need to do? You need to say when button click, we need to increment. Okay, so let us make a function over here. In JavaScript, function are made like this. Function, the name of the function, for example, increment, and in here you will be providing some parameters. For now, there will be no parameters, and just now the definition of the functions. So here, what we need to do is we need to say that whenever the button click, there is a certain variable. Let us take variable count, set it to 0, and it will be increment. So it just increment one thing, count plus equal 1. Okay. Now this variable is incremented in this scope only. This variable is not in document in our DOM. To get this in DOM, what we need to do is we need to take this division, show, and set its inner HTML to count. Sorry, count. So this is how you will be writing a function in the JavaScript. Okay. Now we have implemented this till now. Now we have to implement this thing over here when button click. So there is something called on click event which will be like triggered whenever you click a button. So this can be done by using button.onClick, and we will be saying that increment. Okay. Now this is the whole program of how the this is the whole program of a simple counter which will be increasing a count to 1. Let us try this over here. Now here you can see the increment button, and whenever I press it, it will be showing 1. Now this will be, this 1 is stored in the inner HTML of the show division. Let me show you the document object model that I am talking about. Console.log document. Sorry, console.directory document. Okay, so this is our document object, and it is having various properties over here. We are just using this property only. Okay, so that's how you will be manipulating your whole web application or website using JavaScript. So I can press it many more time, and you can see that this value will be incremented. So what we say in web development, that this particular site has a state of count, which is incremented using this function over here. So that is how JavaScript is working under the hood whenever you are making the let's say front-end applications. Okay, it is a very quick overview. So if you want to learn them, you can learn obviously online. There are many tutorials available. But yeah, the whole thing is done like this in pure vanilla JavaScript. Let's go back to our slide. So here we have learned how JavaScript is working and how we can use JavaScript over there. So now you can think as of like DOM is the main element. Document object model is the main element which you need to learn about and the functionality of that object model only will help you to make the web interactive. Okay. So now let's skip on what is dynamic websites. So there are two types of website, static and dynamic. The static websites are those which have only one state and which will be open for every user on that state. But the dynamic websites have the different states. It will be stateful. For any user, website will be open in a different manner. Number second, it is user based. For example, if you are an admin, so admin will have the other side of the website, other look and feel of the website, and the normal user will have other look and feel of website. Number third, the real time applications. For example, you need to run certain things like you need to analyze data which is coming from there. For those AI and ML folks, you need to analyze the data which is coming from certain pipelines, and it is real time over there. So the buffering speed of that of the web application, that how fast it is processing, these all comes are in, and these all things comes in dynamic websites. Fourth and last is monitoring apps. For example, you need to monitor the web applications. Like in AWS, you will be monitoring the web applications. So these are also dynamic websites. Now, how does React.js create those? As far as you know, internet works on a principle like we will be requesting something to the browser, to the server, and we will be getting a response. But what React.js does, it gets the SPA thing over here. So SPA is single page application. React.js, what React.js do is it actually ship the whole code to the client side, and client will be the responsible for executing the whole code. That's how these SPAs are reactive, these SPAs are stateful, these SPAs are user data centric, and etc. So as for of now, we know that how React is making different user interfaces. But what actually is React.js? So on the website, you will be like you will be seeing these things over here. A library used to create user interface from components. Okay. So first of all, there are two things that to be noticed. That React.js is a library. It is not a framework, or it is not like some sort of no code software. It is a library. And second thing, that what the components should be. Okay. So in this stuff, we are going to we will be looking upon what components and libraries are. Second point is React is a declarative way of making interfaces. So for example, in our previous application, what we have done is we have हमने क्या करा यहाँ पे, we have taken these two things. Okay. So ये जो दोनों चीजें हैं, ये हम बता रहे हैं इस एप्लीकेशन को कि इसे किस तरीके से करना है और कैसे करना है. Okay. But in React, you just need to say how to do things. You don't need to say like select this and now use this as a variable. React will do itself. Okay. So this is the declarative way of programming that React follows, and this way of programming is known as imperative way of programming. All those guys who do competitive programming, they know this. They may know this well. Okay. Third thing is like React.js is quite flexible and extensive, as it is a library. So libraries में क्या होता है? You can integrate everything. If you want something, you can add it. Okay, you can add it by your own. Frameworks are like framework में जो चीज तुम्हें करनी है उसका एक पर्टिकुलर वे होगा करने का, जो तुम्हें वो करना पड़ेगा. लेकिन लाइब्रेरी में क्या होता है? लाइब्रेरी, if you want to do something and there is no function over there for doing that thing, then you can create your own function and use it in this. So it will give us a flexible and extensive way of creating web applications. Okay. And last is stateful and reactive. So stateful and reactive, what are those things? Stateful meaning is that React will maintain a state of the application. React क्या करता है? If you have a website, there is a certain state of it, and that state will be valid only for you. Okay. And what reactive means is that the website is quick. For example, if you are making this thing, अगर तुम यही चीज बना रहे हो जो सर्वर को रिक्वेस्ट भेज रहा है, तो ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि ये रिक्वेस्ट 1-2 सेकंड बाद आए, लेकिन रिएक्ट क्या करेगा? रिएक्ट इस चीज को रिएक्टिव बनाएगा, जो सेकंडों में जो जिसकी हेल्प से ये चीजें बहुत ज्यादा रिस्पॉन्सिव लगेंगी. ओके. Now, how does React actually work? Let me switch to this. So what happened in React is you have learned now that there is certain thing like DOM over here. Okay. In this you have elements. So let's say you have body, you have head over here. Okay. And in this body you have content. So what does React developer says? React developer says कि हम DOM को नहीं छेड़ेंगे. ठीक, हम एक अपना virtual DOM बनाएंगे. ठीक, they will be making their own virtual DOM, and this virtual DOM is the exact same copy of DOM initially. ठीक. Now this DOM will have exact same nodes and exact same behavior as the real DOM. This is the body, this is the head, and this is the content. So whenever the changes occur, change doesn't occur in DOM. Change will occur in virtual DOM itself. Okay. So if if I say in the counter application, if I'm increasing the counter is not increased in this DOM over here. If this application is made of React, ये counter यहाँ पे increase होएगा और वो content यहीं update होएगा. Content +1. Okay. Now what React does it? React एक तरीके से इसके अंदर लूप चलाएगा. जब भी ये चीज होएगी, वो लूप चलाने के बाद देखेगा कि इसमें क्या चीज अपडेट हुई है, ये अपडेट हुआ है. Then it will update the real DOM over here. That is how React will be working. So this whole procedure, you need not to be say that मुझे virtual DOM बनाना है, मुझे ये करना है, ये करना है, ये करना है. तुम्हें कहने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है, तुम्हें बस वहां कहने की जरूरत है कि मुझे काउंटर 1 से बढ़ाना है. This is the beauty of React. And React will handle the state itself. React will update itself. As like what I have said in here, and what you need to say in React. In React, you need to say that I just need to increase the counter. You don't need to say that मुझे उसे कहाँ लगाना है. ये चीजें लिखनी पड़ेगी. और जब तुम बहुत ज्यादा कॉम्प्लेक्स एप्लीकेशन बनाओगे तो ये चीज बहुत ज्यादा ऊपर होती है. That's how React is improving the front end development. Okay, so let's come back on the slides. So first of all, DOM is created. It is of HTML elements, and after that, virtual DOM is exactly the copy of DOM. Whenever any update or any node appears in virtual DOM, what React does is React will check the both of the DOM, and after checking both of the DOM, it will be creating a node that is similar to the virtual DOM in the real DOM, and it will be connecting to that to the children of that node. Okay, that is how React.js will be working under the hood. Now, getting started with React.js. In React.js, you need to know 4 main things: components, data and state, event and event handlers, and rendering. So let us till now हमने देख लिया कि React क्या है. अब हम देखते हैं कि React apps कैसे बनाते हैं. Okay, so you can create React apps using your own terminal or say anything by using Node.js only. So you need to install your Node.js in your computer. Okay, Node.js is a library Node.js is actually runtime. Node.js क्या करेगा, जो जावास्क्रिप्ट तुम ब्राउजर पे चलाते हो वो जावास्क्रिप्ट यहाँ चल जाएगी कंप्यूटर पर. So that's how Node.js will be working over there. So to create a React app, you need Node installed, which I have completely installed in this, and you need npm installed. Okay. Now you can create React app using two things. Either you can create it by create React app template, which is like low performant, or there is something new in the market known as Vite. You will be saying that npm create Vite. Now in this you can name your project as React project. You can select which framework you want to work with. It comes with Vue, React, React, Let. There are all the front-end frameworks available in the market. So we are using React, and this JavaScript, TypeScript, and JavaScript plus SWC. So what is SWC? SWC is a Rust-based compiler actually, and this compiler is way too fast than the original JavaScript compiler, which is written in which is the actual compiler used in Google Chrome. It is made up of V8 engine, but this SWC stuff has come recently and it has overpassed all the compilers. So we will be using it. Now, as you can see here, ये कह रहा है कि हमारा प्रोजेक्ट यहाँ पर क्रिएट हो चुका है, ठीक, React प्रोजेक्ट में. Now we need to run these things over here. So we will be running this cd React project. Now in this you will be getting some predefined stuff. For example, public src. Here is the public stuff which जो तुम्हारा ब्राउजर्स पे दिखेगा, जो पब्लिकली अवेलेबल होगा. यहाँ पर तुम्हारा कोड होगा जावास्क्रिप्ट का. Okay, and these are the files which are like available to the public, and ये package.json बताता है कि हमारी कितनी dependencies है. We will be covering them in shortly. First of all, let's use npm install. As it is said here, so what it is doing is it is installing the React framework in this project. Okay, so now it has installed the React framework in this project. Now to run the development server over here, we need to say npm run dev. What it does, it will give you a development server, and on this server your front end application is served. तो इसमें क्या होगा, ये एक पोर्ट पर तुम्हारा एक डेवलपमेंट सर्वर खोल देगा. उसके बाद उस पोर्ट से तुम एक्सेस कर सकते हो अपने फ्रंट एंड प्रोजेक्ट को. ठीक, लेट्स डू द सेम थिंग. वही हो रहा है. तो यहाँ पे लोकल होस्ट 5173 में हमारा सर्वर खुला है. लेट्स ओपन इट. And it's the same application which is in here, and you can see it is come with it has came with the this counter app which we have done earlier. Okay, now to close this you can press Ctrl C and it will be exited. Let us see in the directory what we have here. Yes, so in here we need not to worry about these things. We are just here for these particular things. So first of all, package.json. Package.json is your basically config file. In this, your extra information is stored. For example, let me see this package.json. So you can see here it is like your name, the version which we are working, and the scripts which we need to run. So ये क्या दिखाएगा हमें कि हमारे पास कितनी स्क्रिप्ट हम रन कर सकते हैं. हम डेवलपमेंट स्क्रिप्ट रन कर सकते हैं, हम बिल्ड स्क्रिप्ट रन कर सकते हैं, हम प्रीव्यू स्क्रिप्ट रन कर सकते हैं, and the dependency. So we have two things over here, React and React DOM. React will be providing us the functionality, and React DOM will be providing us the virtual DOM, which I have talked earlier. Okay. Now this dev dependencies is for development only. Now let us see in the app.jsx file. There, this is the file in which our project is there. So let's see. Okay, so this is our project which is running over the screen. So as you can see here, you will be seeing two things. यहाँ पर ये function app जो है ये तो JavaScript की चीज है. Okay, and ये HTML लिखा है. तो React में component एक ऐसा specialized function होता है जिसमें दोनों चीज लिख सकते हो तुम, HTML भी and JavaScript भी. And that's how React make different components and divide the whole website into the set of components. Okay, now let us see our presentation. We will be covering all those things. So हमें पता लग गया components क्या है. Okay, components are just like specialized function in which we can write HTML, JavaScript and CSS all in one. Okay, now data and state. Like I have talked earlier that the count option is the state in that. So the state of an application is the things we want to change over the time. Now events and event handlers. What are events? What events are? Okay. So for example, this particular on click event is triggering when I'm clicking this. Event are the certain properties in the document object model which will be triggered when you interact with this window object. Okay. तो यहाँ पर ऑन क्लिक है, इधर ये जैसे घूम रहा है तो ये भी एक इवेंट क्रिएट कर रहा है. फॉर एग्जांपल मैं इसके ऊपर जा रहा हूँ तो एक ऑन होवर इवेंट लग रहा है यहाँ पर. यहाँ पर भी ऑन होवर इवेंट लग रहा है. पीछे जो इसके वो आ रही है, ब्रशेज आ रही है. ठीक, तो दीज ऑल आर द इवेंट्स. Okay, we need to know about this event and event handler to make any changes over here. And after that, rendering. How rendering works? Now this is the question. Now this whole diagram depicts that how a React component will be mounting and how rendering will work on the React hand. So first of all, it it is divided into three stages: rendering, commit, and clean. What happen is your function component will be mounted like this is your function component over here. So this component first of all will be initialized and mounted over there. Okay, now according to your states, this component will re-render itself, re-render, and there is many more than states in React. For example, there are effects in React. Effects are something like which जो भी तुम्हारे, जिसकी मान लो तुम्हारे पास कोई ब्राउजर है, यहाँ पर तुम्हारे पास यहाँ कोई ऑब्जेक्ट है, तुम एक सर्टेन यूजर हो. ठीक, इस यूजर के पास ये ऑब्जेक्ट आना है और ये ऑब्जेक्ट आना है वो डिसाइड करेगा इस यूजर का क्राइटेरिया कि क्या ये एडमिन है या फिर नॉर्मल यूजर है. अगर ये एडमिन है तभी ये ऑब्जेक्ट आएगा, वरना नहीं आएगा. सो दिस होल सिनेरियो कम्स अंडर इफेक्ट. Effects are basically those things which we want to run on dependencies. So what it means is ये हम डिपेंड कर रहे हैं किस पे, यूजर पे, कि अगर ये यूजर ये है तभी मैं इस चीज को चलाऊंगा, वरना नहीं चलाऊंगा. ओके, नाउ सेकंड थिंग इज मेमोइजेशन. This is quite famous when you are learning DP, dynamic programming. So it is also there in React. Memoization help you to extract this state data, all the state data into a cache on your machine. इससे क्या होगा, तुम्हें बार बार वहां पे जाने की जरूरत नहीं है ब्राउजर सर्वर पर. Okay, and there is something called references, refs. So these, if you are aware of these four things in a React project, then you can make a good CRUD application. Create, read, update, delete application, and yeah, and that's most of it. Okay, but if you are developing, for example, something like online image editor, okay, so you need to implement some functions on your own, or you can use some libraries over there. For example, chart.js is there, and for image library there is something called, I think, material UI, which will give you a better UI options for creating these buttons and all stuff. Okay, so these things are only used in complex application, but if you are aware of these things over here, you can develop a good use case scenario application using CRUD operations. Okay, so now we will be learning how these effects will be working. First of all, your function will mount over here. Now if you have any memoization, so forget this use over here. Just remember कि use memo एक ऐसा function है जो हमें कैशे में से डाटा निकाल के देगा. अगर यहाँ पर कोई भी डाटा है तो वो उसे रिटर्न करेगा, अगर नहीं है तो वो फंक्शन माउंट हो जाएगा. ठीक. नाउ दिस अपडेशन स्टेट विल बी रनिंग पैरेलल ओवर हियर. अगर हमारी स्टेट चेंज होती है, तो ये जो हमारा रिएक्ट का डोम है वो दोबारा से अपडेट होएगा. And if not, it will be like cleaning the effect, and it will be rendering all the stuff. So it is similar like uh, you are in a restaurant and there is some kitchen over here. Okay, so first of all, what you need to do, you will be going here and you will be placing an order. So this order placing is known as initial step. Okay, that then this order will be served to customer. This is the commit step, and while the order is preparing, the time over here, it is rendering step. Also, the painting comes in role when the browser is there and it is like clicking the picture of your order. Okay, so this is the painting stuff. If the user he's our user, so he is pretty annoyed with order, and now if user wants this order to be changed, it will back over here and it will update, then it will re-render, then it will recommit, and then it will be painted मतलब दोबारा paint हो जाएगा. Okay, that's how your component will be rendered over the web. Now this clean stage happens whenever your order will be like, for example, if your order is here and this user is confused and he will be updating the order, so जो पुराने वाला order था वो clean हो जाएगा, वो बाहर चला जाएगा. So this clean stage is that. Okay, this is actually the internal working of React, so you don't need to be knowing that much of it. Okay, so let us now move to the topic hooks. Now what is hooks? As you can see here, I have wrote three things over here. क्या क्या चीजें थी? State, effect, and your refs and memo. So to use this functionality, React developers make hooks. Use state, use effect, and use refs, and use memo. Okay, तो बेसिकली क्या है, ये स्पेशल फंक्शंस हैं जो कि एक्ट करते हैं, जो कि हमें प्रोवाइड करते हैं रिएक्ट की फंक्शनैलिटी। जो भी ऑर्डर वाली कहानी मैंने सुनाई है, उसके अंदर जो फंक्शनैलिटी हमें प्रोवाइड करेंगे वो ये हुक्स प्रोवाइड करेंगे, दीज ऑल। ओके, so what useState does, useState is just like it will track your data, अपडेट करने के लिए भेजेगा। ओके, and what useEffect does is useEffect will run whenever a certain dependency is met, dependency is met। okay, use refs, if you want like मेरे पास ऑर्डर है, मैं चाहता हूँ कि मेरे पास क्वांटिटी ज्यादा है, क्वांटिटी मेरे पास 4 आए, ठीक, लेकिन यहाँ पे मेरे पास मेन्यू में केवल क्वांटिटी 2 है। So what I can do is I can create another parameter known as quantity, and I will set it to 4, and I will then say that okay, जो भी यहाँ पे बंदा order दे रहा था, give me this quantity। So use refs is basically used to uh, give more parameters while rendering or updating, render or update। okay, and use memo is like simple thing, there is some cache over there and you will be using this cache memory instead of getting your request to the server। okay, this is prevented। so use memo make your application more performant। there are some advanced things that are there in React, for example use reducer and use context। these are some advanced topics, advanced hooks, and these two things are used in complex application। let me explain what complex application I mean। so for example, React, every React component have its own state। okay, so it's a component and it is having its own state over here। तो अगर मेरे पास एक वेबसाइट है और मैं चाहता हूँ कि यहाँ पे इस पूरी वेबसाइट की एक स्टेट हो, रेदर देन कि मेरे पास बहुत सारे कंपोनेंट हैं और उनकी अलग अलग स्टेट हो, ठीक। तो यहाँ पर इस सिनेरियो में मैं यूज करूंगा यूज कॉन्टेक्स्ट। व्हाट इट विल गिविंग, इट विल बी गिविंग अ होल स्टेट ऑफ दैट वेबसाइट, फॉर दैट वेबसाइट। सो ये वाली स्टेट, ये वाली जो स्टेट मिलेगी मुझे, ये कोई भी कंपोनेंट एक्सेस कर सकता है, कोई भी। So these things are used in building complex application। For example, you are building a highly complex e-commerce website, and there is certain parameters called which will be responsible for the recommendation system over here। So this recommendation system parameter works on let's say 4 components। one is your card component, second is your cart component, and third it can be your like review component। so these component can have this state over here using use context। okay, use reducer is something advanced, you need not to know about that। so let us move on how hooks work। so what happen is hook will have 3 stages: mount, update, and unmount। mount will be mounting the component, update will be saying that okay, your this is the component, now you will be initialized for going to update, and unmount will unmount those components। okay, so first of all this run lazy initializers are run when your use state is in the initial state। okay, now render will be running, and this update over here, this will be running whenever your use state is changing, whenever your state is changing। then this layout effect is like okay, so ignore it, it is advanced, and the paint screen and cleanup effect, all those run in the update state। after unmounting any component, your whole website will be gone। okay, so there you can see that no function is running। okay, So that's how hooks work in React. Now, React component example. For example, you have a function over here, markup, it is having some properties, and you will be exporting this function. So क्या होता है, if you have a function, if you have a component, you need to use this component over and over again. So तुम्हें वो function को export करना पड़ेगा and उस function को अपने application में बहुत बार use करना पड़ेगा. Component का मतलब यही है, अगर तुम्हारे पास एक कार्ड है जिसके अंदर कुछ चीज चेंज हो रही है, बस वही चीज चेंज हो रही है, तो वो यहाँ पर जाएंगी props में, and that props will be changing all the things, and your card will be re-rendering itself on the website. Okay, so this is your simple markup component, and in here I will be returning a division of heading name as hello. Yeah, and now होता क्या है, रिएक्ट में ये चीज नहीं रन होगी, ये चीज तुम्हारे कन्वीनियंस के लिए है कि तुम अच्छे से लिख पाओ कोड को, रन होगी ये चीज. सो ये चीज जो रन होती है, ये करवाएंगे कौन, रिएक्ट के कंपाइलर्स, जिसकी मैं भी बात कर रहा था, जिसमें हमने रिएक्ट में SWC पढ़ा था जब हमने प्रोजेक्ट बनाया था. तो what do they do, they make it backward compatible. So for example, this JSX is a format, it is like JavaScript only. So it will be returning an function which will be having division. Inside that division, this curly braces is in there for object. There is an object which is having a children of h1, and now this h1 will be returning over the whole function. Okay, so ये चीज इसमें convert होएगी, but you don't need to worry about that. That's how declarative language works. ये काम करेंगे Babel and HWC. Babel is a compiler, you can search over there over internet Babel, and you can तुम देख सकते हो मतलब कि कैसे कैसे हमारे components compile हो रहे हैं if you want to. And SWC is also a compiler. So whenever the function you will be changing, this compiler will run and it will change this to this, and now this particular code will be run on your development server, not on your production server. It will be running on development server. So now the thing is, how do we make the production code जो कि सबकी वेबसाइट पे चल जाए. अभी ये हमारी वेबसाइट पे चल रहा है लोकल होस्ट पे, तो उसमें क्या होता है, यू नीड टू बिल्ड द प्रोजेक्ट. सो फॉर एग्जांपल अभी हमने स्ट्रक्चर देखा, उसमें हमारे पास सोर्स थे, कंपोनेंट थे, पेजेस थे, एपीआईज थे, app.js, ऑल दिस थिंग. दीज आर फॉर आवर कन्वीनियंस कि हम वेबसाइट को किस तरीके से डिजाइन कर रहे हैं. नाउ दीज होल थिंग्स आर कन्वर्टेड इन दिस index, script and style. Okay, and this is done by some bundlers, for example Webpack, Parcel and Y. Let us understand this. What happened is, you have written the React code over here. Okay, this code will be in JSX, JS, TSX, TS, or any other thing. Okay, it is TS. Now this React code is written like for तुम्हारे हिसाब से लिखा गया कोड, ठीक है, जैसे कि मैंने वहां बताया था, कोई भी फंक्शन है, ये चीजें, ठीक. उसके बाद ये कोड जाता है कंपाइलर्स के पास, लाइक Babel और SWC. These are specially designed for this only. React, Vue और जो भी तुम्हारी फ्रंट एंड फ्रेमवर्क है, ये इसके लिए डिजाइन हुए हैं. जब ये कोड इसमें जाता है, ये इसी फॉर्मेट में रहेगा, JSX, TS और TSX, लेकिन इसका जो स्ट्रक्चर है वो चेंज हो जाएगा. Structure will be changed. Now this whole code block will goes into bundler. What bundler does is, bundler will take your complex structure of the development things over there, like as you have seen slide में कि इस SRC components वगैरह वगैरह, and it will convert into simply index.html, a style sheet, and let's say style.css, and a JavaScript, so main.js. It will convert this into this. अब ये वाला कोड जो है ये हो जाता है प्रोडक्शन में, ये वाला कोड जाएगा हमारा डिप्लॉयमेंट में, ये नहीं जाएगा, ये ओनली रिजोर्स फॉर डेवलपमेंट स्टफ. Okay, so let me give you a quick example how it works. So inside our package.json, what we have find is a script known as build. So let us run the script. It will be running as npm run build, I guess. Yeah. So as you can see here, this is saying that we are building for production, ready to transform it in text to HTML. This is a set file, and this is our CSS, and this is our JS file. These 1, 2, 3, 4 files that will be made to the production. Now, if we go into the directory, let me just see, yeah, distribution directory. Now, this directory will be having these three things. As you can see here, only HTML, this JS file, and this CSS file. Now, these files are quite complex. These are actually like which is visible, and yeah, this is JavaScript. Actually, this is vanilla JavaScript. So if I want to see that code, it is not understandable. This is the code. This is JavaScript which it is defined, and this is running on your deployment server. This code will be having all the functionality and how things are working over there. Okay. So that's how you produce this application and deploying it to server. And similarly, there is the CSS code. This is CSS code and the index.js code. Index.js code. This is HTML code over there. Okay. Yeah. So after this, what React.js developed very old release here from like 2013. So React.js, if you want to do routing over React.js, or you want to use external, for example, React.js doesn't contain these things. I'm listening sometimes. React.js does not contain anything using about routers or say any language. You cannot route or you cannot link pages using React. Okay. You cannot do this. And also the use context stuff. There is something called Redux. If you are running a heavy application, so this is instead of context, this will be used. So these things are external libraries which are not there yet, which we need to install ourselves and run yourself to address this content. And what developers is developers have their own front end on Next.js and Next.js also. There is a carry. So under there are just they GG framework in general same framework. Okay, but they will provide you these things without using external library. It's a integrated. Okay. So let's see what and this full stack framework implementation of first of all the server-side functions and the React are about client side. If you want to server side, you need to install. I think these are the input SSR. You need to install that to run on server side. Okay. But this full stack framework will give you the ability of running the code on both the front end side and the back end side. That means that you can run this particular code on backend. इसका मतलब क्या है? इसका मतलब ये है कि तुम वहाँ पर API बना सकते हो, तुम फ्रंट एंड से API बना सकते हो. Okay. And number three is routing as I discussed earlier. Number third was Redrand. So what happened is React Java support as we have seen earlier बहुत बड़ा कोड होता है वो. अभी तो कुछ भी अवेलेबल नहीं है, वो नॉर्मल लिखा हुआ है बिकॉज़ पढ़ लिया तो वो कोड बहुत ज़्यादा बड़ा होता है, इसकी वजह से हमारी जो प्रोसेसिंग है वो स्लो होती है. लेकिन सर्वर साइड में क्या करता है, वो बेसिकली में index.html मतलब HTML के पेज भेजता है, जिसकी हेल्प तुम्हारा जो क्लाइंट साइड प्रोसेस है वो कम हो. So these things are not provided in React.js, but are provided in Next.js and tools and features. So of course these frameworks are built upon React.js. Next.js, React.js के ऊपर बनाया है, React.js के ऊपर बनाया है. लेकिन these things have built this thing over there. Okay. So yeah, that's all from my side. If you have any query related to anything, I just want to know what is React. Okay. Let me stop sharing. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Kushagra, for such an insightful session. We will go ahead and take some time for queries now. Just a reminder, please be sure to type your queries into the chat box.
First of all, why use React development? Okay, React is actually a framework. Yeah, React is actually a framework. So, in React we will be developing code for web and your phone, mobile. For example, तुम उसमें code लिखते हो तो किसी iOS के लिए Android के लिए, and it works in a lot of different ways. You have views, displays, and everything. What is higher order component in React? Okay, so you can have components inside component. Higher component, for example, if you are developing an e-commerce site, so you need to have the parts in there, and on the section you need to have the different algorithm which is running on the parts. So you can calculate those component higher order components. Anything?
I think sure there is a question. What made React.js so popular?
Yeah, I told you that React.js is so popular because of library. It is a library, so you can write your own functions, and you can actually inside the React code of React असली code है उसमें तुम changes कर सकते हो अपने हिसाब से. Best platform to learn JavaScript from okay. There is a platform to learn JavaScript. Let me share you the screen. For all those who want to learn JavaScript, this is the best platform. Mozilla developer docs, and in here you can type JavaScript. This platform is running on docs. It is written by the one who are making this like the Java implement with such a online. तो इसमें वीडियो देखते हैं तो वीडियो तो यार ही बहुत है. But it's such a experiment. Whatever codes or yeah, this is quite. I just over there. Okay. So let's talk about next year. Over here, yes. Actually, Next.js is built on React.js, and Next.js is a framework. So it's not a library. So if there is something that is to be done like Next.js में route बनाना है, तो मैं डायरेक्ट रन करके उसके अंदर एक पेज का वो एक पर्टिकुलर नाम से ही वो लिख नहीं पाता उस फाइल का नाम अगर नहीं लिखे तो राउट बनेगा ही नहीं. So बस ये डिफरेंस है उसमें. तो it is a framework. How can I contact you? You can contact me. Let me. No, we don't need to get development separately. I will do that. ये सारा जो वो जैसे काउंटर वगैरह वो तो React handle करता है. It is related. React application name levels useful for it. See, if you are developing a React application, React application is developing two things. First is Expo. You need to install Expo and then you develop the React application. और उसी Expo tool में तुम्हारे पास options आते हैं कि वो कोड लोड करता है. कोड लोड करे तो तुम्हारे फोन में लिखने लोड होएगी कि मैं कंप्यूटर पे दिखेगा कि क्या है उसमें. तो डिबग हो जाएगा सब चीज.
Sir, someone is asking what is React Router?
Yeah. I like that. React single page application. That means there is only one page of whole application. So if you want to travel from one page to another in React way, you need React router, and then that router will be that's when I say another thing. You can contact me. Yeah, you can put your LinkedIn as well. And
We will share our LinkedIn file. So it looks like we have covered all the questions. If there is anything else you wanted to ask before I wrap up, feel free to ask.
if you can ask anything like backend support also front end also. And if you want to do something again, I can guide you. And I can provide you projects also. Oh, one more thing. I forgot to and I did get project. So किसी को मतलब देखना है कि आर्टिमेडिया जो ऐप का प्रोजेक्ट होता है उसके किस तरीके से स्ट्रक्चर होता है. Is anyone want to know? Okay. Yeah. So yes. So this is a project of food app again. So this is a project front end food application. I have defined it and मैंने वो लगा है project command. वो तो बहुत easy है. फिर भी. So first of all, let's see the structure. So as you can see here, there are two things. Public, which is available for public. So in this public folder में हमारे पास होंगे your index.html जो कि एक सिंपल एग्जांपल हमारा React जो भी होगी JavaScript जाएगा हो जाएगा. Okay. And your logo development your UI icon जो कि यहाँ पे browser side में display होता है. And the whole project jumps under the Nextjs directory. So in Nextjs, you will see assets. They consist of some pictures and other things, components. In this way, we have a art, layout, mail ID, and so. So let's go and start. Okay. So this is the mail this is the address. यहाँ पे हमारे जितनी तो मैं वो नहीं JPG फाइल जो भी फाइल में मतलब JS फाइल इसमें आती है. ठीक है. Now we have to open folder. इस कंपोनेंट में क्या होगा, हमारे पास वे चीज़ होगी जो बहुत वाइज होगी. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आई एम यूजिंग कार्ड on every page. So I have this thing over here. So we have card.js. So in here card.js. So first of all you can say that have you used context. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. एक स्टेट जो कि सब कंपोनेंट है, उसके लिए हमें पहले यूज कॉन्टेक्स्ट यूज करना पड़ेगा. Okay. And you are seeing things like this is card item removal and handler. These are just listening to the event. जो हमने इवेंट क्रिएट करते हैं वेब एप्लीकेशन में, उसको बस लिसन कर रहे हैं, उसके हिसाब से चेंज कर रहे हैं. ठीक. तो ये क्या कर रहा है, कार्ड कॉन्टेक्स्ट से आईडी रिमूव कर रहा है. तो कार्ड कॉन्टेक्स्ट यहाँ पर एक बहुत बड़ा एक तरीके से मान लो एरे है, इसके अंदर जो आईडी स्ट्रिंग बन देगा. तो कार्ड कॉन्टेक्स्ट जस्ट लाइक क्लाइंट साइड डेटाबेस. इफ हम अगर तुम समझ पाते हो तो जैसे कि इंडिया इंटरव्यू भी है, लोकल जो होती है, तो उसकी तरह है context. And now you have a connection over there. Sorry. What is this? ये normal हुआ है, क्या बोलते हो, क्या कहते हैं image. And this is for item. Whenever we are getting an item, this function will be created, and all the property for that item will be there, and you will be this all that are in particular place. They will be replaced by things we are over there. Okay. And we have layout. You can have headers, footers, and things. I have added and card button. And in UI I have card in and modes are like pop-ups. As you can see in mobile, जो कि तुम्हारी स्क्रीन पे pop-up आते हैं, है ना. तो वेब डेवलपमेंट मॉडल्स बोलते हैं. And yeah, so your lab is in here. So you can see कितना ज़्यादा factored है code. यहाँ पर ये हमारा एप्लीकेशन है, इसके अंदर क्या चीज़ें हो रही हैं. इसके अंदर यूज़र हो रहा है. उसके बाद यहाँ पर कार्ड प्रोवाइड हो रहा है, कार्ड प्रोवाइड हो रही है. अलग से जावा की फाइल है, इसके अंदर ये सारी चीज़ें नहीं है. इसके अंदर कार्ड कंटेंट आ रहा है, कार्ड कंटेंट हमारा जो मैं डाटा बता रहा था, ये चीज़ें जाएंगी इसके अंदर. ओके. आइटम जाएगा, अमाउंट जाएंगी. And add and remove items to functions and development functions. Okay. So that's how a simple project is like structure. So इसमें तीन चार चीजें यूज होंगी. Context and date. And if you want to connect it with the backend, we will be using effect. बस. और तुम्हें you can be creating a good credit application. So it's just create the application only. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. You all are provided the feedback form in the chat box, which is necessary to fill in order to get your certification. And surprise, we were talking about earlier, will be provided to you on your mail. So please fill the feedback form. I hope everyone copied the link of the feedback form. So thank you everyone, and thank you so much, sir. We appreciate you being here, and we will see you next time. Have a good day, everyone.